Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This is Joe with Ohio Woodburner. Today, guys, I'm just going to walk around and show you what I got going on in the yard. We have wrapped up I think a pretty impressive 2023. A lot has happened around here, starting moving into this yard. That was a big deal. I had just always become accustomed to working off my own land, and it got me that far. The challenge there was getting the trucks in and off the road. A lot of the truck drivers didn't like bringing logs on that sharp curve, all except for one, log hauler Jesse, of course. And I was always dealing with mud. I was always dealing with, problems that come with working out of your house, unintended consequences, junking the place up. And then the opportunity for this land came, and gosh, I still come down here and look at this and cannot believe that this is mine. Everything about Ohio Woodburner, starting this firewood business, has been exciting. Yes, there had been some sleepless nights, but for the most part, it's just been a blast. And here we are, man. What a great place. And I'm out of the mud. It's a little squishy here and there, but it's not where you're going to get stuck in the mud or anything. I had run a load of firewood into the trailer, and it slipped off the block, so it's probably got a lot of water in the front of it. I got to get that stacked. The main log pile, I'm standing where it was once when before I even moved into here. There were 5 triaxle loads of logs right here. All of those logs are gone, and then I think it was another 11 total triaxles that came in that I've been processing. I'm getting pretty low right now. This is the time of the season where logging is challenged because they can't get into the woods. We've had a warming trend. Everything's mud, everything is underwater, so a lot of logs aren't being pulled out of the woods, and the ones that are covered in mud. And if you are a value-added firewood delivery service, you try to avoid mud, and certainly mud on your firewood, as much as you can. These logs right here, from all of the other loads that have come in, these are all oak, and I have just set them off to the side, and I am just going to run all of my oak at the same time. If I'm not getting any logs until things firm up, the temperatures drop, I don't need to run these right now. The main accounts that I have that use oak are not as finicky about the moisture content as other restaurants that burn cherry, maple, and the like. So there's no need for me to just knock these out right now. My plan is to get all of these logs, which is mostly maple, cherry, ash, your other hardwoods. There's still some oak in here, but I will just pull these out and set them over here. So my plan is to get all these other hardwoods processed and stacked, because that will get them drying out faster than my oak, which is not as a high priority. I still have a lot of oak at my house, and this is my area where I'll be stacking all my oak. I call this Oakland, and all that oak that gets split will be put over here. These 2 areas, I have an idea for these, but for right now I'm leaving them open. I think this could play a role for snow removal. This is the main concourse, and you can plan things up in your head, but you don't know it until you do it. And I just kind of think that if I do get a big snow and I can't get in here, my snow blower, which is up there, my Titan attachment snow blower, I can use these areas to get to direct all the snow into, so that I just don't get a big pile in here that I can't seem to get around. But these are the remaining logs from when we were full over here. Log hauler Jesse, we had 2 I think there was 2, there might have been 3 triaxle loads that were stacked here and here, and these are all gone. And I gotta tell you, I impressed myself. I think because we had good weather, my December has been huge. And I don't keep detailed financial records, all right? I'm kind of an accountant rebel right now, and that's after 22 plus years of working in corporate life. So I keep track of year over year, month over month, and I do know that this December has been my most busiest delivery month ever. I've made more money this December than I had in any other month that I've been in business. And I think that there's a couple reasons why. And it hasn't been the weather, because it's been largely warm through December. I think it's because it's this yard. It's the fact that I have a lot of logs and I still got more that I can get processed. You know, here's an area right here where I'm putting all my new stuff in. So I have never had this much wood going into a December before. And in the past, because I'm such a restaurant heavy operation, I have to start putting a governor on my sales when you get into this time of year, because I know I didn't have the log supply. The weather, you know, the snow and stuff, you're just not going to make any wood. But here I am, I got a lot of wood. I still have a lot more to sell. And instead of not answering my phone in December, instead of not returning calls in December, I'm making sales. And what do you know? I've had the biggest delivery month that I've ever had. But that is not to say that my inventory is going out. My process is, I have these pallets that were given to me by Dale from the Firewood Hut. Check out his YouTube channel. And this is all going to the restaurants. And I have, these are perfect because the 16-inch piece fits in between these two stringers. I leave a gap, and then I put the next 2 rows here. And then I will put a gap and lay down another row of pallets. And it just kind of comes out to be 10 cords in each one of these sections. And this is the oldest stuff. In fact, this wood was made back during the open house. I think this was the very first stuff that was stacked, because I remember Daniel from York Firewood, I remember watching them crisscross these when all the stacking was getting done. So thank you, Daniel. Your wood is getting delivered. And I have my trailer in place because my high school help, the schools are closed for the week. He'll be coming in to load this trailer up. This is going to be going out to a restaurant. And this is the section where I'm starting to put my newest stuff that I've made. So this is all green. So the way that this yard's set up, the oldest, driest stuff is here. And then as you go this way, it gets greener. I was going to start putting my green stuff obviously right here, but that load of logs on the other side is keeping me from getting into it on this side. It just makes sense for me to stack the new stuff right here. When I am in charge of the inventory, I know what's dry and what's not. So this isn't something where I'm going to like accidentally load all this up to go to a restaurant, because I'll know the difference. I know where all the species are. And, you know, if I do have like a run of hickory somewhere, I'll know exactly where it is as well. But here you go. This is more, you're getting, you know, drier, less dry as you keep coming this way. And this section is where my stuff was before I started putting it up here. So this area here is pretty full. I had a friend of mine who's a smoker, and this was all cherry I had stacked here, and he asked, because you know, I'm friends with the guy, so I let him come in. He loaded up his truck. I can still get this filled back in, but I still don't, that is still my practice though. I don't have local pickup. You know, I'll make exceptions, but I don't do local pickup, guys, and I don't see the reason why. I'm not in business to sell cheap firewood, and delivery makes your firewood worth a lot more. So everything that I can do to maximize my price per stick of firewood, I'm going to do it. And that's what I've learned, is that, you know, delivery is where it's at. And this is the area where I bring my crooked logs, oversized logs, uglies. I just bring them down here and we will chainsaw. And then they get sent through the axis. So these are the kind of logs that I just don't put through the Japa. I could probably get them to go, but when you're looking at a mountain of logs, you know, it's just too easy to bring these down here. Once we get a good pile of them, we have a chainsaw day. You might have seen some of my YouTube shorts and other videos I put on Facebook where we've got all these chainsawed up, and they're pushed over here to get ready to go through the axis. The axis is a priceless machine for my operation. If you have a processor, guys, you know, the first rule is don't throw away your chainsaw because you're going to need it. And then the trade-off is the processors want, you know, straight logs that are going to fit where you don't have to wrestle with them. But, you know, every log load that comes in is going to have logs that don't fit. So you're going to have a way to get them split. And I used to use my super splitter, but I got to the point where the logs were so big I couldn't pick them up. And that's where a commercial grade log splitter like the Axis made complete sense to me. On top of that, the way I do my firewood, I can make a value-added stick of wood right off the knife. Nothing ever needs resplit, and it gets stacked. And that's what's going on over here. We have a project with this wood. It's going out to a family that I care about. So we just keep these split. They have an outdoor wood boiler, so again, they don't care about the way it looks. You know, some of these has got some mushroom growth on it, but I will still split it small for them. It helps for them to pick it up and get it moved. That's a load of beech. I had those 2 beech logs back in the summer. I just got it stacked. That's people with smokers like beech because beech is a nut tree, you know. If I've done anything right starting this business, and I keep telling everyone, you know, don't follow me, I'm lost. And there is some truth to it. But I've gone into this with an open mind. If something's not working right, I will fix it. I have no problem at all changing because my commitment is efficiency and profitability. And in the old days, I had always, you know, these uglies, the ones that are too big, too crooked, they got rot or mushrooms, they would just go into my furnace back at the house. Well, my furnace is full. And I have all these logs that are just in my way, and I don't know what to do with them. Because when I think about the time that I can invest in making firewood, if I put a half hour of my time into the Japa up here, you know, I can have 10 times as much money as what I put into a half hour of chainsawing and splitting with a hydraulic splitter. You know, it's just the way firewood production is. However, that doesn't mean it would be in my best interest just to dump these in the creek and just get them out of my life. What I had learned is, because I have an account close by that wants this type of wood because they heat their shop with it, it is worth my time now to split these and package them up in a crate like this and send them out. So that's been my new learning experience. I really think if you do get into a value-added firewood service, if that is all that you want to do, there are still going to be areas of your operation where you can't make it value-added. So you got to start coming up with new ways to sell this kind of stuff, and that's my big opportunity. And that's where I'm starting to make this pivot now, where yes, I will deal with these ugly boiler logs just to get these sold, but it gives me money, not as much, but I'll take it. But it also cleans up the yard. And here we go, guys. We have had that big snow. It all melted. We had rain, rain, rain. And yes, I got a couple watery areas, but this place is firm. It's hard. I can get around without getting mud up to my shins. The log trucks can get in without any problem of getting stuck. Very good. Here is my container, guys. The container is probably the biggest contributor to this yard without me even talking about it a lot. This came from Container One. Excellent company, and they happen to be right here in the Mahoning Valley. They are the nation's largest mover of these containers. And I cannot get over how easy it was to buy one of these. But you know, you see these ones too, where you bring in a second container and then it's got that big roof that spans between the two of them. That would be kind of cool. That's all on the wish list. I am loaded up for a delivery as soon as I'm done with this video. This is all oak. I'm going out to a restaurant. But speaking of roofs, guys, I have the roof solution for the Japa. But you know, life gets in the way sometimes. I had college tuition due for 2 daughters. We had to get a car. a lot of other expenses, and Christmas, right? So, you know, I try to keep my money from Ohio Wood Burner going back into Ohio Wood Burner, but you know, life gets in the way. So here we go, guys. Speaking of roofs, I want to get a carport that's going to go over the Japa, and I pretty much have figured out which one I want, but my brain struggles with this type of visualization. And you would think I would want the peak of the carport to go with the machine, you know? But the more I looked into it, I don't know how that's going to work, because they don't come that short unless I buy a custom one. Then the price gets real high. The conveyor would run into the edge of the carport, and that carport has to be not directly over top of the Japa, but it's got to be, the peak needs to be on this side of it, because those hoods come up and they have to be able to clear the inside of the roof. It gets complicated. So my thought is I'm going to get the carport where the roof runs like this, and it's going to come out this way more. So it's going to be, I think, 20 feet-ish kind of a length. So it's going to cover the back of the engine and the back of the machine, to keep the engine out of the weather. But the carport would maybe come out to about this far. And you know, the peak would be sloping towards us right now. We would be looking at the one gutter right here. And the width of them, I think I could get them to be like 12 or 14 feet wide. And that would give me enough clearance so that the outfeed can stay in this same angle. I wouldn't have the supports of the carport in the back of the machine, so where I can get in here with my forks and pull all these tubs out and get all of that delivered. And the roof would extend out to here, where at least it gives me even more space under a roof where I can put a chair and hang out here, you know? So those are all my thoughts. The challenge is this table, when you lay your logs on it, you know, I always try to cheat and get the longest ones on here possible, and the ends, the butt ends will be over as this far sometimes, and the legs of the carport, you know, would be right here. So I'd have to start trimming my logs extra short because they get tippy, or get a new table that has that third strand. That would be a big solution. I see that Japa is coming out with one of those. But I hear a lot of you guys saying, you know, I got to get this under a roof, and I agree. And this is going to sound kind of weird too, you know. I always got to remember I'm a YouTube channel, and I don't know if putting this under a roof is going to kill the visibility of my videos. Is it going to like affect the way that you guys can see this machine working? But I keep saying that, you know, I am dependent on this machine. This machine is my life. I've paid for it. It is mine. You know, this was not given to me, and I am in this for the long term. So I probably need to start thinking about what's best for the machine. And I don't know, maybe putting it under a roof too, it won't affect the way the videos look as much as I'm hoping that it doesn't. But there's only one way to find out. So once I get my Ohio Wood Burner bank account back up for the year, maybe we'll start getting that project rolling on the carport. Okay guys, that's what I wanted to show you. I just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at, and I wanted to show you how busy I've been with my deliveries and how this is affecting the overall in and out of this wood yard. Problems come up every day, and we just try to find a solution to them, fix it, and move on. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And I also hope that you've been enjoying your holidays, and I hope everyone has a great day.